What is the best conversation you accidentally overheard? Not exactly a conversation, but there's a guy in the dorm below me. He doesn't know this, but I can hear him through the vent in my floor. He has a young sibling, I think, and he sings to her over the phone at night. I fall asleep to it sometimes. Obligatory edit. Golden top comment of the day. Thanks, guys. Man, I came here thinking I'd see a bunch of weird shit, but this is great. This makes me feel all fuzzy inside. What a sweet thing for him to do. I was at a graduation party for my best friend when she graduated high school in 07, and a boy she was hanging out with at the time was there. He had to use my friend's house phone to call his mom, and the last thing he said to her before hanging up was, "I'm a grown ass man. Mom, I'll skateboard home." We still use that to this day. Holy shit, I'm gonna start saying that to my friends and they aren't gonna get it, but I'll still laugh. Was on the bus and a small girl and her father were sitting in front of me. The kid was misbehaving a bit and wouldn't sit still, even though her father would tell her to settle down several times. Eventually he lets out an exasperated "Why won't you do what I tell you to?" And the little girl answers, matter of factly, "Mom always tells you to stop washing your balls in the sink, but you still do it." Needless to say, they got off that bus very quickly as every single person around them was desperately trying not to laugh. She was probably talking about golf balls and unaware of the innuendo. That is hilarious. Two girls on the bus sitting in front of me start talking about a date that one of them had recently been on. One of them says, "And then he stuck his hand up my skirt," and her friend says, "The one with the stripes on it?" Katie, that's not the point. Well, no, it wasn't the one with the stripes. Why didn't you wear the ones with the stripes? He would have gone down on you with the stripes. Oh my god, Katie, I don't even want to talk to you right now. Did you take your red jacket? Me and a friend were sitting outside McDonald's when we heard this. Was banging her hard and she was screaming like, "Yeah yeah yeah, duck my dussy," and she had like 15 orgasms and her deites were bouncing up and down. Straight after that I went and ducked her sister who was in the next room, and she had like 20 orgasms and I hadn't even clum yet because I can go for like an hour because my nick is 20, so it's hard to get it in sometimes. And then after an hour I came 3 times and she was screaming so loud I thought her mum was going to hear and get jealous because I've ducked their mum too. Guy was about 12 and all his friends were hanging on every word in amazement, like he was a total stud. On college campus, a black guy walks up to a black girl he clearly knows who is wearing a hat and sunglasses. "Who girl, where you going looking all incognito?" Girl 1, are you name? Girl 2, yeah. Girl 1, hi, I'm your math tutor. Girl 2, oh, you're cute. I'd totally date you, but I'm not a lesbian. Girl 1, thanks, I'd date you too, but I'm straight and I have a boyfriend. They totally didn't duck that night. I was at the movies. Just wait until your dad hears about this. Mom, it's not that big of a deal. What you did was disgusting. It was a betrayal of my trust. It was a betrayal of everything I believe in, but most of all you betrayed yourself. Once you have the two together, you can never enjoy the one without the other. Mom. Drawn out into about 30 syllables. It's no skin off my nose. I've never done what you did. You are never going to go back to a time that you haven't done this. At this point I'm dying to know what this kid did, and I'm trying to stay near enough in the crowd to hopefully find out when they are joined by the father. The mother points accusingly at the kid. He had a soda in the movie theater. Mom, it wasn't a soda, it was a lemonade. You've mixed sugar in the movies. Now you will constantly want a snack while you're watching a movie. You know I raised you never to eat in front of a screen. Edit. My favorite part of this conversation was the roller coaster of emotions I experienced. First the curiosity. I had to know what this kid had done. Then, well, that's a little over the top. Then finally, when is the last time I saw a movie without a candy or soda? Why did my mother never tell me about this? My freshman roommate in college would talk on the phone 24/7 to anyone and everyone. His GF the girl he was cheating on his GF with, and my personal favorite, some random conversation that I was barely paying attention to when suddenly, oh, I forgot to tell you, your daughter broke up with me yesterday. To this day I kick myself for not paying attention from the beginning. I was in a bar one night, and while you probably wouldn't call this an accident, because she was screaming, a couple were breaking up. She was yelling at him, because he didn't want to buy her another drink, because lo and behold she was drunk, and making an ass out of herself. To finish her tirade she screamed in a high-pitched annoying voice. And every time we ducked I ducking faked it. To which he looked at her deadpan and calmly asked, "What makes you think I was ducking you for your benefit?" Drop mic. Walk off to applause and laughter. I overheard two people's epic encounter a while ago. So a woman comes into the bakery, and as soon as she steps in a man greets her. He proceeds to ask her about what's new, and how she's been the last 20 years. The woman obviously knew the guy and they engage in a 10-ish minute talk about their spouses, kids and jobs, basically everything new from the last 20 years. Then they decide to meet up next weekend and have a cup of coffee. The woman then asks him to say hi to his sister from her, and his response is, "I don't have a sister." At that point both their faces were priceless. She asks him, "Wait, your name is Pete, right?" He responds, "EHH, no, your name isn't Karen." I burst into laughter sitting a few meters away. They had been talking to a complete stranger about the last 20 years of their lives. They said bye to each other in an extremely awkward manner, and went on their way. In Costco, and they had giant crab for sale. Little girl, "Dad, what do they eat?" Dad, little girl's called Megan. Overheard more or less. At a past job I was accidentally sent an email from a woman at an office several states away that basically said, "I've thought long and hard about this, and I'm still apprehensive about it, but I'm ready to meet you at a hotel." It was followed with about 10 recall message attempts. Girl 1, "Why'd you eat my mayonnaise? You have your own." Girl 2, "I like the combination." 1, "So you ate half a jar of mine without asking?" 2, "Yes, I like the combination." 1, "That still doesn't explain why you used mine." 2, "I like the combination." Me, mayonnaise expert, "How can I help you?" Them, "I like the combination." Me, "Okay, how much of each jar do you use?" Them, "Sir, I'm not a mayonnaise person, I just like the combination." Me, "Do you know which brands you are using?" Them, "I don't know the brands." Me, "Okay, I want you to ask your friend the brand they use and buy yourself a." Them, "Sir, I already told you that I am not a mayonnaise person. I am hanging up and going to eat the rest of my friend's jar." I was walking through a parking lot and a lady drove past. All I heard was, "No, I didn't leave her." "In your morning smoothie." Sounds like something a pedestrian would say on the phone in GTA 5. I overheard my 7-year-old cousin playing with a hair clip he found people think I'm a meg, but I'm actually a venomous spider. I live in the ocean. Was at work and a couple of guys walked past the window. All I heard was, "Jude, you really should get her a birthday present. I mean, she did give you a really good job." Fair enough. In an old electronics class we were playing with spectrum analyzers and discovered that the old cell phones broadcast on open frequencies. If you found the spike on the spectrum and tuned into it, you could hear what they were saying. Happened to tune into a couple girls calling some guy so they could come over and smoke some DBs. By the time they were done, me and my lab partner had the entire class clustered around listening in. Think half of them were hoping to find out where they were going so they could crash the party. My wife and I were at a pretty fancy restaurant where they have their wine list on iPads. We were in a celebratory mood and decided to splurge a bit and get some glasses of wine that were $15 a pop. Shortly after we got our wine, this old guy walks in with 2 young ladies. The sommelier comes up and asks if he had any questions about the wine list. The old dude says, "I trust you. Just bring out something that's reasonably priced." Sommelier looks back a bit baffled and says, "I'm sorry sir, but would you kindly let me know what reasonably priced would be?" Old dude puts the wine list down calmly smiles and says anything under $5,000 a bottle will be just fine. Thanks. Ended up ordering 3 bottles over the course of our dinner. Crazy and entertaining all at once.